Hello everybody, I am Mariana and I'm back. I'm trying to do a different reading today. It's not a moon reading, it's not a normal zodiac sign reading, but I felt captured by the energies of this conjunction coming up right now between Uranus and the North Node and Mars. It's a very rare one. So this is in 1,000 years or so. And what I feel like is coming up this time is something about the collective masculine wounding. And Uranus is here to show us something about that. Like we all somehow carry a collective masculine wounding. And I just feel like there's something about the fiery Mars energy that it's like it's used wrong. Like, well, not all people, of course, but those who are struggling, those who find it very hard to be in the world, those who are not, they don't feel like they are successful, or they haven't reached a peak of something, or they feel unsafe. They have instability. They feel, as I tend to say on my channel, like I tend to connect with scapegoats or people who may have been wronged in some way. It's like I was shown like a black hole in the universe, and the black hole has the tendency to suck you in. Like it has this magnetic pull that sucks you in somehow. Or we can say like the Bermuda Triangle, right? That just keeps swirling like that. But if you get caught in it, it's like you're drawn down, and you cannot fight it somehow. It's too strong of a force. And I just get the feeling that Aquarius is the great awakener. It's a very big planet. It's a strong, powerful planet. So when it comes in with a message, it's like we cannot just not hear it somehow. It's quite it has a certain momentum, you could say. Not easy to overlook. The North Node is here with Aquarius and Mars coming in to the picture here. So the North Node is, well, I believe there can be several interpretations, but I believe that the North Node indicate kind of a direction that we are moving towards, perhaps. A direction that is needed somehow. The South Node, you could say, in your chart is typically right opposite the North Node. So that's where you come from. That's your heritage. This is where you come from, what you have experienced when you grew up, or your family legacy or something like that. You have family history, and then you're moving towards a different direction, and that is like the soul growth or life lessons to learn. So Aquarius in your chart could be interesting to figure out what kind of energy is guiding you, Uranus for you. And the North Node placement could be interesting as well, to figure out what house and what placement it has. But these two together, Uranus really wants us to wake up to the idea that we start moving towards that direction, that we don't procrastinate, we are not standing still, that we actually start to go in that direction, owning it, to go in that direction, taking whatever action you need to take. And this is where Mars comes in and joins everything. Mars is the doer, right? This is our go-getter energy. This is the fire. It's the confidence. It's the willpower to like take us in some direction. But if we all carry a sense of a masculine wounding, I believe we have masculine and feminine wounding, but in this case it's Mars coming in, right? And Mars is driven by its fire. It's driven by the fact that it wants to do something, act, take care of something, be active, not passive, active. So take matters into his own hand and do something about it, right? That's the Mars energy. It's go-getter. I want to do this. I go in this direction. I feel guided to go in this direction. This is what I want. But I got this feeling of like the black hole, right? That kind of sucks you, it sucks you in somehow. It has this magnetic pull to suck us into something. And we need power, right? To resist it perhaps. And go in another direction if we don't want to be sucked into it. And lose control. That's also what I feel like. If you get too close to the Bermuda Triangle, where the water starts swirling here, you are in trouble, right? Because now you can get sucked in. And no matter how much force you have, you try to swim the other way, you are caught now in this swirling water, downward pointing, right? It sucks you in. So no matter how much force you try to bring to the table to resist it, you are caught. You are sucked in. You can't resist it. You can't fight it. You are done somehow. And this is what I feel like. I get the feeling that Mars, our Mars energy, our go-getter energy, our confidence can come into trouble if it gets too close to something. If it gets too close to something that is very powerful and has a very magnetic, I get the feeling of lure, right? I get the feeling of like a hypnotic lure that draws us in, something that is very powerful. Could be something that we are very passionate about. Something we are passionate about, it's like we can't stay away. It keeps drawing us, it keeps calling us, it keeps like, come to me, come to me. It keeps like pulling us somehow. No matter, we try to look the other way and all this stuff, but if we know that this is not good for me, this is not good for me, if I go there, I'm toast, right? I cannot defend myself. I will be drawn in. And I don't know what's going to happen. I will drown here, or I will be sucked into something, devoured maybe by something that now has a grip on me, like addictions. The feeling of being trapped, the feeling of being restricted also in doing what you want to do. Like, again, the Mars energy, it wants to go in a direction where maybe it's lured in by the black hole. But if it wants to change its way and go back again, it wants to have that freedom to do so. But if it has already been sucked in, it cannot. It's now restricted, right? If we take a look at the masculine energy in the world today, and maybe I'm biased, I don't know. I just feel like there are a lot of women complaining about the men not being responsible, the men being players, and they are not really owning up to the fact that now there are children here, and now there is a responsibility. We need food, we need shelter, we need to pay the bills, we need a bed to sleep in, we need things to be taken care of. And then the men take off. Like feeling left somehow with a sense of trouble. I'm not saying that all men are like this. Women can be as well if they embody a lot of masculine energy. But just take it how it resonates for you. This is just something I've been observing. I've been hearing like friends of my women who talk about this. They don't commit. They run away. They escape. They don't want to be pulled down. They don't want to be pulled in. They don't want to be like marriage can be this feeling of like change and everything. And the masculine wounding can be about that they feel sucked into something and now they are stuck. Now they can't move, right? I'm not here to say whether it's good or bad. I'm just kind of observing the energy here. So, if the masculine energy deep down has a fear of being sucked into something that potentially will be their death or their stagnation, and Mars cannot stagnate. I have said this so many times. Fire energy needs to move. It needs an outlet. It needs to go somewhere. If it feels like it's stuck, like now we are married, so now you have to stay here. You can not do your normal Mars stuff. You have to take care of this and this and this and that and this and that. So now you are kind of stuck in this. Or maybe it feels like that for the masculine energy. It's stuck somehow. It can only do so much in this realm of the marriage, perhaps. And that's not actually how the masculine energy works. It has to move. It needs to move. So the Mars energy needs a lot of freedom. Marriage is not really good for that, is it, actually? I feel like that there's something about like we need to shake maybe our understanding about the dynamics in the world. That there are some energies that simply cannot be boxed in, and there are some energies that can, and actually maybe don't necessarily feel bad in a more limited space. But some energies cannot. They have to move. And when we try to change that or put restriction on it, it becomes like bitter and angry and resentful, right? It becomes like it wants to fight its way out. It wants to escape, right? And I feel like the Mars energy can maybe right now be facing something about the fear of being pulled into something that potentially make you stagnate. That potentially could make you stagnate. And that it rises up a fear. And therefore Mars will run in the other direction. Like the Mars part of us will run in the other direction. This idea of coming too close to the black hole that potentially could suck you in, and you come too close to it and now you can't retrieve. It's like you get sucked in no matter what you try. You get sucked into it. Even if you change your mind, you're already on the magnetic pull is already drawing you in. You cannot no longer fight it. You're not strong enough. There could be something about the masculine energy also realizing, I have an addiction maybe. There are stuff in my life, there are situations in my life that draw me in. And when I get the taste for it, I can't not go there. I'm not strong enough to resist it, right? This is where we talk about addictions perhaps, or something. If I have tasted it and I got the taste for it, it's like I can't stay away. I find myself being drawn to it. And no matter what, it could be money, right? It could be the addiction of fame and money and status and whatever, ego-based stuff. But if I get the taste for it, it's like I can't not go there. I have to stand on the edge, right? Just feel it a little bit, and then maybe I get sucked into it. And when this train starts moving, it's like I have no way of returning back. Maybe some of you out there will figure this out in your own life, what that is for you. This potential black hole that could suck you in. What is that for you? What could that be? Like, could it be shopping? Like, if you go out with some friends and you just, I just want to look at that particular window because there's this particular dress. But then several hours later, you find yourself a lot of $1,000 has been used on all kinds of stuff you have been buying. It's like when the train starts moving, it's like I can't help myself. It's that feeling I can't help myself. If I get too close to the edge, then I can't help myself. I'm sucked into it. I have no resistance against this. The desire, the passion for it, the taste for it, the smell of it, the feel of it, it draws me in. And I have to be very careful of how close I get to this edge. To get my point, it's that kind of feeling. And I feel Uranus wants us to figure out what that is particularly for you, right? What is that particular trouble for you, you could say, or even fear? Because as I said, when you get sucked in, you cannot resist it. Now you are stuck in it. Now you are here. You cannot leave. You're sucked into it. Right? So if an alcoholic goes on a bar cruise, they cannot just have one beer. If they just have one beer, they get sucked right back into the trouble, you could say. Something that, and I do feel like even if it's something that we deeply desire, we get so pulled by it. And in the moment it may feel great. In the moment it may feel wonderful. In the moment it may feel, again, maybe as I have mentioned before also on my channel, the hoover or the love bombing of a narcissist can be so enchanting for someone who is desperately looking for love. It can be so enchanting, so pulling, so mesmerizing, so magic, and it pulls you in. But then you get stuck somehow. You get addicted to it. You get it awakens something, a desire, a lust, a passion that you keep want to be fed by it. You keep want to be mesmerized by it. You keep want to drink the next beer and have the next feeling of numbness, perhaps. If numbness is better than your like more aware or conscious situation, maybe numbness is better. If you are a drug addict or pill addict, or you know you have that tendency that you could get potentially drugged into it, drawn into it, you know it's the next high. It's this next hypnotic, magnificent high feeling of being free, perhaps. Of being liberated of all your guilt or all your fears or all your, it's like you're finally just flowing and free, right? That high gives you that feeling for just a moment. But it keeps asking for more, right? It keeps asking again and again and again for you to repeat this, right? Like a cycle of desire. And therefore the action we take an action towards something that potentially just pulls us into like a sense of a magical realm, but it's not necessarily real. It's not healing, and it's not beneficial for other kinds of manifestation. It's like using the Mars energy wrongly. You can use it in a different way and create a different kind of high in your life, you could say. But do you get my point? It's like standing just these small feet at the edge of something here. And if you get too close, you get sucked right back into something. Sucked back right into family drama, sucked right back into like an addiction, sucked right back into like an old narcissistic relationship with a hoover from someone. You suck right back in because there's something here that just, it lures me so much. It's like I have no resistance. If I get in touch with this, I have no resistance. I lose myself somehow. And sometimes losing myself means that I'm no longer in control. I just flow with what happens. I can't do anything. I can't resist. I can't control. I can't domineer. I can't. And sometimes that may actually feel like a liberation. But at the same time, where does it take you? What kind of path does it take you? What kind of rabbit hole does it take you down? Do you get my point? It may feel liberating just for a few minutes of time. It could be a sex addiction, right? It could be anything here. But it lures us in, and we get the high, a feeling of this totally liberated feeling. And then we are sucked right back into whatever is here somehow. Whatever is here still, right? It could be the feeling that staying in a marriage, I stay here because of the sex with my wife or with my husband. I stay there because when we have that, it feels so good. It's like it takes all the other trouble away that may exist in the relationship, right? It takes everything else away just for that little moment. It takes everything else away. But I'm asking you, is it worth it? Is this little tiny moment worth it if you have a lot of trouble around you all other times? Do you get my point? Is it worth it? Is that high worth it for you? Are there other ways to create like a similar, just as liberating, just as magnificent feeling? And why is that so important to have this high? Why can't you have it in other ways in your life? Why is that maybe only possible if you connect with something else here? That you need someone or something to connect with to have the high. Why is that even? Then you are codependent, right, on something. You keep going towards it. I don't know, but this is what I get. Like the feeling of what is the biggest. I want to say it's a combination of desire and fear at the same time, because there's something about it that when you stand at the edge, you are maybe asking yourself, do I want this? Because you know that there is something else following it. It's not just the high feeling you get all this other stuff as well. And is it worth it? Is that what you want? Do you get my point? That there's something here that potentially can draw you somewhere. But Uranus is here to, maybe you're dealing with an Aquarius, but potentially Uranus wants you to see this. Whatever you are drawn to, that could actually indicate your south node. It could indicate something about where you come from. And you get sucked into it, right? But it's not the right road for you, perhaps. Maybe you're supposed to go in like a different direction, actually, to have your own growth, your own inner high, you could say. Your own inner blessing, your own inner feeling of connectedness. Because it seems like you're drawn to something to connect. To connect in some way. But the connection can be within as well. But most of us, we do the opposite. We let ourselves be drawn to something to connect with. Even though more and more people are waking up to some of this, I believe that there are still many living in the matrix, understanding 3D life, and they still get drawn to money, fame, success, the high of that, the high of the new sale, the high of hooking up with someone, the high of finding new love, the high of shopping, the high of whatever it may be, psychedelic kind of high, or I don't know. But it comes with the meeting between you and something else. And I really think that Aquarius wants us to see this. It wants us to see that there is a potential edge that you need to be aware of. That when you get closer and closer, at some point you can't stop. You are drawn back in to something. So where is your edge about something here? Most of us have life experience that have taught us something, right? And it's like when you step over the edge, when you take that leap, when you take that step, it's like you are potentially sucked right back in, and it needs a lot of resistance. It needs a lot of determination, focus, discipline, help maybe, outside help to draw you back out. It could potentially be your hell loop that you are drawn back into. South node, again, where you come from perhaps, reliving something. Okay, let's have a look at this, what else we get here. But that's what I feel like Uranus wants you to realize, that we all have We all have a potential tripping point. We all have some kind of weakness, some kind of temptation, something that, and this is where the fire energy is at work. I feel like the fire energy can draw us in some kind of direction. We just have to really get to know it, know what it's about. Because yes, you can have this moment of high, but it comes with all this shit also. And maybe the feeling of restriction and like you are caught, trapped in something. Moonlight goddess, repressed emotions, healing and reflection. So when I look at this, the moonlight goddess, I get to think about a reading I did a few days back, and I said something. Was it Sagittarius? I believe I said something about get to know your moon sign. Get to know your moon sign and the house of it, and realize what that is about for you. You can find a lot of knowledge in that. Because the moon sign, at least in my opinion, is something we have had strong trouble with. Like it has really affected us in a way that may have reshaped you, or like really it has done something that created a lot of trouble for you, the moon sign. And maybe the moon sign represents the sun sign of one of your parents, right? That could indicate something. But it could also indicate something about your upbringing, so your south node. I believe the moon sign has to do with your south node, where you come from, what you may have experienced consciously or unconsciously. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't know it. It has not yet come to the surface for you, perhaps. But I just feel like get to know this moon, get to know this. If you get to know it and you work with Uranus on this one, you can become the goddess of your moon, right? You can finally figure out what your moon sign was about. And you can now own it, right? You can own the fact that you have been living with this all your life and still be a goddess, still know your, it's almost like know your trouble, right? Know your wounding and still be a goddess. Rise above it. Work your way around it. Moonlight again. The moon is seemingly light, right, when we look at it, but it's only because the sun is actually shining on it. And the sky is dark when the moon is up or present or visible. Here again, I have this feeling that of the darkness of the black hole, that we could potentially be sucked into something. Become the goddess of your moon, of your trouble. Like I feel like Uranus is here to make you see this, to make you see how much your moon sign may have affected your Mars sign in going in towards what you want, how it may have affected your confidence maybe. Get to know your moon sign, yes, but also own it. Like really get to know how this has affected you. And then still grow your goddess, right? You become the goddess of the moon here now. The moon can no longer hurt you, right? You know what this is about then. Get to know your trouble, right? Get to know your trouble. Get to know your south node. Where do you come from? What kind of family was that? What were your options when you grew up? What was your upbringing like? Get to know that. Get to know the rules, regulations, all the stuff you learned. And also realize this may not be the only truth out there, right? It may not be what actually fits you. Maybe you need to parent your moon element. Moon also sometimes indicate the inner child, childhood, inner child. Maybe you need to reparent yourself here. Get to know your moon sign. Again, I need to, and when you do that, if you really work with the energy, you can become the goddess of it. Now you know what this is about, how it has affected you, how it has designed you, shaped you, molded you, and maybe what you were willing to do to please someone here, or to do something about certain situations. And then have a look at how your Mars has been affected by it. Okay? This is where you become the goddess. This is where you rise again. This is where you now own the fact that you know what your moon is. You put light on your moon, right? You put light on your moon so that you can see what it's about. Yeah, that's what I feel like. At the bottom of the deck, I get the Zen garden here. This is quite beautiful. This is again, it says inner sanctuary. But we see like a bubble here, right? So sanctuary feels pleasant, right? It feels good, sanctuary. It feels safe, maybe. Maybe peaceful and caring and loving. And this can be what you start to develop. Like, as I said, if you own your moon energy, you speak to your inner child, you can maybe redesign something. Maybe your Zen garden here, your innermost self, maybe it wasn't at some point a sanctuary. Maybe it was a prison. Maybe you didn't know it was a prison, but you're realizing it perhaps. Somehow I get the feeling this underlying energy, so it has to do with something from your subconscious. It wants to heal, I feel like. It wants you to heal this. But it also, I feel like, is questioning what you may have, like, let's say, what I talked about here, the edge of something. If I go towards something here, I get sucked into something. That could be what this is about. As long as I stay out here and I'm not near the edge, I'm not near the edge here. As long as or you could even say here, as long as I stay in here, I won't get too close to the edge of something. Then I'm not drawn into something that I can't handle. As long as I'm here, I'm safe, right? Somehow. I'm not faced with the deepest, darkest fears and my potential addictions or something. As long as I stay here. And of course that's nice if you can somehow be safe out here and you feel okay here. But just realize that now you have also put out, even out here, you have put yourself in a bubble. So there's a part of the world that you can't enter because of fear, perhaps, and the feeling of not being strong enough to defend yourself, to climb back out of the trouble. That if I come to the edge of this, I'm drawn right back into something, and I cannot return back out. I cannot back out, I cannot run out, I cannot escape. I'm kind of stuck. I'm in quicksand. I sit here now. I cannot. Then someone needs to come and pull me out, right? I need help here. So maybe you are better off staying out here, and maybe that's what you feel like, that this out here is my sanctuary. So as long as I stay here, I'm safe. I can live a more wholesome life. But also realizing that the high is not part of it. The high I can get here is not part of it. So there's something about what is it? It's like life is not constant excitement. Life is not a fairy tale wheel all the time. You're not supposed to live constantly on a high to have a great existence in life. It's like it feels a little bit like our mind is trapped by the idea that we need or we want this high all the time, sugar high, or like that we are addicted to the feeling of satisfaction or high, or it's part of our brain. We have a part of our brain that reacts to reward. We have a reward system in the brain. Every time we eat something, the award system in the brain gets satisfied, and we feel more happy. We feel more happy. Every time we drink something sugary, this reward system is activated, and we feel more happy. We feel more satisfied. But when time goes by and we try to keep this maybe reward feeling activated most of the time, we eat sugar, we eat all kinds of stuff. Maybe we need more and more of it to feel more and more of a reward, more and more satisfaction, more and more a feeling of joy, high, and somehow I also get that feeling here that our brain and is wired for reward and satisfaction. It wants that. It goes for it. It's and resisting it doesn't feel good, does it? It feels like we deny ourselves something. We all know that when we're on a diet and we can't eat carbs or sugar or anything, we feel like we deny ourselves something. And it actually makes us feel a bit grumpy, right? Life feels more grumpy. And somehow I get the feeling it's about finding out that life is not about the next high, the next sugar high, or reward and satisfaction all the time. Life is also about peace, harmony, balance. Not to say that you can't drink anything sugary or eat fruit or something. Not at all. It's just maybe it needs a different balance. Maybe this talks about having a detox of something, whatever it is, whether it's sugar, fruit, coffee, I don't know, other kinds of maybe more addictive things like drugs or pills or whatever. Maybe that it's just maybe this is just a shout out for detoxing your body somehow. Or get aware of your addictions, right? Get aware of where you get stuck, where you get into trouble here. And also know that the trouble you feel here can prohibit you from actually creating more of a Zen garden. The Zen garden can talk about like detoxing your body, so your body actually becomes your Zen garden. Your body becomes as your vessel, your temple, right? It's like cleaning the temple, cleaning the home, cleaning the inside of you, your intestines, everything, your liver detox, drink more water, all these kinds of stuff that some of the maintenance of you is to take care of your inner temple, you could say. But it doesn't feel good, right? When we do the detox, we get all kinds of stuff out. And then we feel the draw again, right? We feel the draw of sugar and coffee and everything. It's like it's drawing us. Come to me, right? You want this, come and get it, right? So there's a craving for satisfaction, a craving for a high, a craving for something. The craving. Get to know your cravings here. And become very real about how this is maybe controlling your life. How is it controlling your life? Or is it controlling your life? Do you feel it does? Do you have a craving for drama and intrigue and conspiracy theories? Do you have a craving for control or dominance? Do you have a craving that for spotlight and fame, the new next sale, big sale, the new applause? What is your craving? Do you have sugar cravings, eating disorders, all kinds of desire cravings, I want to say? What is that? Do you have a love addiction? Do you have a sex addiction? What is your craving? And when you follow the craving, it may give you a sense of a high in like certain specific shorter periods of time, but that what comes after. I get that feeling. It's like something comes after, where you feel stuck, where you feel trapped, where you feel bound, where you feel you can't get out, where your freedom is now limited. In the high moment, it isn't pang. This is where everything expands and you can just relax, or you are liberated. But when you get down again, this is where you realize your restriction, where you realize how bound you are to something. The world we live in, how controlled it is, or how many rules and regulations and all kinds of stuff there is. Maybe that's why we are drawn to the high, because we don't want it. We want to be free. We want to be liberated. Maybe the Mars energy in general wants to be liberated within all of us. We don't want all this restriction, right? Okay. So this is what I feel could be going on. Maybe that's coming more to the surface here, that we need somehow to detox from the world. Maybe we need to detox from drama. We need to detox from sugar, from family quarrels. We need to detox from friends with bad habits, or something that no longer feels right for you somehow. We need to take different action. So put our action somewhere else, perhaps in a different direction. So instead of going maybe to the bar or the disco, drinking myself drunk with some of my friends, dancing all night, maybe I choose to go into nature. I don't know, but you get my point, right? Something that is drinking myself. If I get myself drunk, I'm somehow poisoning my body, right? I do it to have fun. I do it to be free. I do it to liberate myself, to have a pause in this restricted life, perhaps I feel I have. So I need the numbness or the feeling of liberation, that I'm free. I'm not attached to anything. I can just be who I am. I can let loose. I can that kind of feeling. And maybe you feel like you can't do that when you are sober, right? When you are just you. It's like you feel like that is not acceptable, that is not good. And I can actually get myself in trouble when I feel this liberated feeling. I feel liberated, but there's also a part of me that is unprotected maybe. I open myself more up and I could be more unprotected. So what happens in this time? What happens when I have my high? What happens when I let loose? That period of time, what happens there, right? Potentially I could get myself into a lot of trouble maybe. Potentially I could, if I'm drunk, I could walk just in front of a car and get hit by a car. If I do too many drugs, I could have an overdose. I could actually potentially harm myself. Even when I seek my reward, even when I seek my satisfaction, I can also potentially harm myself. And that's why the edge is there. That's why we may ask ourselves when we stand at the edge, do I really want this? Because I know there's trouble here also, right? I know I could potentially get myself in danger. So the freedom or the liberation comes also with a feeling of danger or vulnerability. The danger of death, maybe, the danger of entrapment, the danger of feeling stuck, feeling bound to something where I am not strong enough to take myself out. So I need help if I should out somehow, right? Yeah, I need 3 cards up here, and I feel like it's because it's the conjunction. So North Node, Uranus and Mars. It's like one for each. Or maybe not one for each, but it's like it intertwines with each other somehow. Underlying energy for this, the star. So this is the North Node, right? This is the guiding star. This is the one we all look for, the one we all want to find, the one we all want to connect with, This is the North Node. This is underlying energy. So this is like the reason for this reading. It's the reason for the message. It's the reason for what you are supposed to see. Look at how naked she is here. Like this is asking. It asks us to be extremely honest with ourselves and figure out which stars do I want to follow, or which desire, which one is strongest somehow, which one overrules everything else. Okay, I want to put it here, I think. This is Aquarius energy. I want to say true north node, the calling, like are you hearing the call of your true north, your north node here? Are you hearing the calling? Or can't you hear it? Uranus could be offering at this point in time like a phone call, the metaphorical phone call. What is it truly you want here? What is it truly you need to grow inside yourself, or to heal, or to go towards here? So, I have 3 cards here. The Queen of Pentacles, I have the Ten of Swords, and the Six of Wands. So, in the card in the middle is important. It's always important. The one that is the center card. And here we have the Ten of Swords. Here I talk about the masculine wounding, right? A wounding we all carry in one way and the other. I carry one sense, my Mars has one placement, and other masculine energies in my zodiac has one placement. The zodiac is just a tool. If you don't like the idea of astrology, just don't go with it. But get to know something about where you feel like you lack confidence, or where you feel like you procrastinate, or where you don't speak up your mind, and so, right? Get to know that. This talks about the Ten of Swords. We see how he falls on his knees here. He has been carrying this stone here for so long, and it's weighing him down. This causes him to bow down. He has no more strength. As I said, something about you don't have the strength to fight something. You don't have the strength to. When you get to the edge, right? When you get to the edge, you get sucked right back in. You can't resist it. You are not strong enough to resist it. And that's what we see here. We see him bowing down. That he is now stuck. He's tied to this stone forever. It keeps him down. He can't move. This is a masculine energy that has given up moving. He's exhausted, right? Or he's limited, he's bound to a stone, punished, or maybe something. He's bound to a stone, a big one, a mountain, and he can't move that mountain. He's not strong enough. So to get up and walk away from this, maybe he needs help, or he needs to believe that he's strong enough to do so. He needs to trust that he's strong enough to do so. maybe he also needs to understand that he doesn't have to carry this mountain, whatever this heavy load is. Guilt, maybe the feeling of blame, hate, maybe self-hatred here, which is actually not that uncommon. Seeing himself as a monster, maybe. We have to go back in time and realize that the masculine energy has, under very difficult circumstances, has been acting in ways that were, for instance, just in war. How many men have been killing men in war? Bombing villages, slaughtering villages, children and women and everything, shooting and even if it's back in time, and I say that maybe I have not been in that kind of war, maybe I still carry an imprint of something, maybe I still carry a sense of wounding, maybe we all do. And the feminine does as well, but right now it's Mars coming up, and this is the masculine wounding, I think, that is really up for show here. Because the masculine is also, you could say, can be a strong protector, right? But if someone has been in a war killing other people, and at the same time actually feels very responsible for his family at home, how do these two energies go together? Right? At one point I have been a monster, I've been killing people. And at the same time I want to be a protector, right? It's very contradictory, and it may create a lot of shame and the feeling of self-sabotage or even self-hatred. We know that soldiers that come back from war, some of them they have post-traumatic stress, and they never quite heal from it. Not really, right? Maybe some of them get a better life. Some are addicted. They drink. They can't live with the horrors of what they have experienced and what they have been involved in. This is what I talk about. I talk about this. Having seen something, participated in something that was so awful, so overwhelming, so destructive, that we see him lie here now. But I want to say it is a 10 of swords. And 10 signifies something about completion, like coming to the end of something. The end of suffering, maybe. The end of suffering. And maybe that's why Uranus is here now. He wants us to see. Because here, if we have self-hate, if we have self-sabotage here, we also have self-destructive behavior or desires. We feel like somehow we need to punish ourselves, and this can be very subconscious. We feel like we haven't done right. Maybe we couldn't protect those we love, and now we feel responsible for it. So we carry a sense of guilt. And therefore, if we carry a sense of guilt, how can we be lovable? How can we be trustworthy? How can we be forgiven, maybe? How can we be a good person if we failed somehow? This is a masculine energy that feels like it has failed, is failing, has been failing. Not trusting himself, right? Not believing he has what it takes. Because he has faced himself, right? He has faced and seen himself doing stuff that is the exact opposite of what he wanted. How can he face himself? How can he look himself in the eye and feel okay with himself? He can't, so he has to run, right? He has to run from himself until we get to see this, until we get to face it. How can I be a protector if I have been an abuser? Or a killer even, or a... How can I be worthy? Right? So on one side I have the Queen of Pentacles here. I get the feeling somehow it comes across a little bit like Mother Earth, Gaia. This is a very earthy queen, very grounded, but also very solid, very rooted. There's stability here. There's also peace here. She holds a coin. For me, coin is not only about money. It can be about safety. It can be about stability. It can be about like holding the pillars of the home. It could be the sense of like a safe haven or sanctuary. Like she's peaceful, this one. She's quiet and peaceful. She's quite safe. There is a sense of abundance with her. There's food here, right? There's shelter. There's comfort and quiet, and there could be luxury, but that's actually not what I get. I get more like comfort and peace. There is a sense of also something like having things together, like there's a plan somehow. Not necessarily a stressful and like controlling plan, but there is a sense of nice order to something. as opposed to anarchy and chaos, right? She holds something here that allows things to be orderly somehow. But it comes across as a quiet, peaceful, harmonious kind of order. I don't know how to... She sits here quite quietly, and she can be quite creative, this one, Queen of Pentacles. She could create something here, just quietly sitting here and just doing her thing. But I also get the feeling of like a sense of, quiet, harmonious, orderly living. Maybe this is what Gaia wants, like Earth would like us to have, like a feeling that we are safe here, that we are protected, that we have everything we need. Again, she's holding the pillar, right? She holds the pillar of the shelter of the house. There's money here, there's food, there's drink, there's a nice bed to sleep in, a sense of quiet, orderly, harmonious day somehow. There's fertility here, everything is green. Yeah, it comes across a little bit like Gaia, like But when I look at her and her ears here, she has like fairy ears or something like that, elder kind of ears. I get the feeling she's listening, like she's listening to something. Maybe listening to the pain that we feel, that we carry. It can be a part of you, right? That a part of you is more like this, and another part of you is more chaotic but also exhausted here. Tired and feels unworthy or something like that. And she's listening to some of this, right? And tries to keep calm in her situation. She tries to keep it as balanced as possible on her side, and something is more chaotic on this side, but it's coming, I feel like, to an end here. It's almost like Gaia has been listening to mankind suffer something here. And when I say Gaia, this can be a mother, right? It can be a feminine energy that tries to keep herself balanced here. And then there's a masculine energy that is really like feeling the ringer of something. Look at all the swords here. Feeling trapped, backstabbed, lied to, betrayed, like criticized or self-sabotaging. As I said, it could be self-destructive, self-hatred feeling here. It can be criticism from others that is now putting him to his knees, like he can't do it anymore. He's exhausted here. Tied down, bound down to something here. He has no more will, he has no more power, there's nothing left here. And someone may be observing something here, listening. It could be that maybe you feel like you let an inner dialogue is created somehow. Maybe you understand something about yourself better here, because you choose to listen, right? You choose to listen to yourself, to your feelings, maybe. Whatever Gaia is, or Uranus is opening up for you. Then I have the Six of Wands here. This is a beautiful card of success and victory. Today he comes across a little bit as like he's actually riding away from what is behind him. And well, what is it that is behind him? It could be a family. Put it into your situation here, but it's something that has to do with, well, when I see these statues here, it reminds me of the statues of the Lord of the Rings. Some of the kingdoms have like statues like this when you enter their kingdom. So you enter their realm, you could say, like a kingdom realm. You enter that here. And there's fire here, war perhaps. Like fiery, there's fire, burning fire here. And somehow I get the feeling he is riding away from that. Away from something here. Again, leaving your south node perhaps. And moving towards your north node. You leave something behind. Something that potentially could feel big. As I said, this feeling of being, you could easily be lured into something, but when you are there, you are stuck, right? When you are there, you have to obey the rules of this kingdom or this empire. It could be the feeling of leaving a cult behind, a religious cult or something. It can easily suck you in because you feel fear, or you feel you are alone, you feel you can't manage on your own, because your confidence is lacking, right? So therefore you could easily be sucked right into something here. Because you're codependent, because you believe you can't do it on your own. But this card tells me that you can. You can leave something. If you truly believe you can leave something. And this is shown as a man, right? So of course this one can leave, right? Of course this one can leave something behind that has been really like a war zone here. You can leave the war zone behind, or whatever this is. Something that potentially has been dragging you back. You found yourself being drawn back into the war zone of something. Maybe because of the high I told you, but it could also be because of safety. It could be because of fear. It could be because of you don't believe that you can stand on your own 2 feet and be successful, right? So therefore you crawl back, like you crave the safety maybe, or you crave the solid structure of something. You crave that because otherwise you feel like you break down here. That you break down without it, maybe. But there could be other structures out there that also fit you. This is not the only one, right? There could be other structures. Maybe something that is a better fit for you. This talks about success and victory. And I get the feeling he's riding away from something here. A war zone, perhaps. The war zone can be all kinds of trouble, as I said here. Get to know your moon sign. Get to know the trouble. This can represent the trouble for you, whatever that is. something that burns. Burn again here can be war zone, anger, but it can also be strong desires here. Right? Desires and passion that draw us back in. And it takes a lot of determination and focus and discipline to walk away from something that potentially has been everything we wanted at some point. Or we felt deeply attached or codependent to it, loyal to it maybe. Maybe you have been fighting wars for whatever this represents. You were willing to fight for it. You were willing to defend it maybe. But now realizing maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe this is not really my fight to fight. Maybe this is not my kingdom. Maybe I don't fit here. And this card is just above the star card here. It's like he's filled up with something else now. He's filled up with a belief that he can succeed, that he can go out there, that he can leave something behind and be successful out there, as long as he trusts in his own true north here, as long as he's honest with himself, as long as he allows himself to go towards a higher bliss here, a higher feeling of inner bliss here. Let's have a look at the card underneath here. I was guided to put a card here, and it's underneath the 10 of Swords. So let's have a look what this is. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, this is leaving the lack mentality. The feeling of death and abandonment and rejection, feeling left out in the cold. Now I get again the feeling of a monster, like someone who needs to hide out there. Someone who needs to hide out there. Or hide their true self somehow. Sitting by a little campfire in the rain here. In the rain. With skulls, right? Looking at the moon. As I said again, the moon is like, get to know your moon sign, right? This is the only companion maybe. It's a very lonely feeling of... And look at how she's actually smiling a little bit when she looks at the moon. This is the only energy source for this one, right? There's no other energy source. Only the moon guides this one. The 5 of Pentacles talks about loss and lack. Having nothing. Feeling left out in the cold. Abandoned, rejected, alone. A weirdo. Trouble. Unlovable, unlikable, unchosen, rejected, I said that, abandoned, not welcome, a weirdo, a freak, a monster maybe, that feeling. But it's coming to an end because someone is releasing the attachment to the moon, I feel like. The moon is what gets you in trouble here. The voice of the moon is telling you that you are unwelcome, a monster, not good enough, that you get rejected, that you are bad, that you are awful, that you are unlovable, unlikable, all this stuff. But leaving that or rejecting or at least getting to know the moon, right? Getting to know what it is, what kind of smoke screen it gives you here. What kind of smoke screen it leaves you in. What kind of emotional smoke screen it leaves you in here. When you realize that this is where you become the moonlight goddess. You rise above. You rise above this now. And you are not allowing the moon energy to affect you that much. You realize it's there. It's part of you maybe. It has been there. Maybe I was raised to feel like this. But And I know that it may still be part of me somehow, but I know I'm worth more. I know that I'm worthy of more. And I'm leaving this trouble behind, right? I leave this trouble behind, using my fire energy to do so. So instead of being bitter and frustrated and resentful, I now use my fire energy to move away, to go and get something else, right? To move away from something, to go and get my star here. And this comes with choices, right? Choosing to do differently, choosing to believe there's more, choosing to believe that I am more, I can do differently. So instead of sitting here and feeling defeated and bound to something, and feeling very restricted with the with all this air here, all this swords energy, I'm not allowing this to affect me anymore. I'm saying no to that. I'm saying no to the feelings. I'm saying no to the thoughts that all come from whatever the moon tells you here. Moon energy it's lunar energy, right? Lunar energy can be crazy making. It's like lunatic, right? It's I'm not saying that you like a lunatic, but that's how it can affect us. If we are not careful, it can become a rabbit hole. It can be a very destructive, emotional and mind like maze of trouble. It can just keep derailing us in all kinds of. That's why I talk about intrigue, conspiration theories, all kinds of gossip. Gossip is also here, right? Gossip and lies and all kinds of like derailing energy. And if you get sucked into it, that's what if you get sucked into it, you can get stuck there. Then it becomes like a rabbit hole. It just creates more and more and more and more and more. And I feel like maybe the masculine here is could even be paranoia here. But I get the feeling, again, Uranus is here to help us see some of this. That you can do differently, your Mars energy can do differently. Use that fire energy for something else. Use that fire energy to say stop. I'm no longer like in that rabbit hole of the moon here. I use my fire energy to go somewhere else here. To trust something else and go somewhere else. Maybe you don't have the full picture, but you do something, I want to say. You do something. Maybe you use the full moon right now of in Leo. That is still, the window is still open to put out, we would say, new manifestations here. It's like she's blowing, sending it to the universe, right? Maybe you ask that, can I get a phone call here? Maybe a literal phone call or a spiritual phone call. Can I get a guidance here? Guide me, please, right? Maybe a sense of connection is established between your North Node. And you feel more connected to it, or maybe trusting that there's more out there for me. And I'm going to get it. I go and get it now. And I feel successful in leaving something. Just the idea of leaving something is making me feel successful. Maybe I don't know where I'm going, but leaving is better than staying. You see that feeling? Because staying is like accepting this. Staying is like accepting this. Right? And that's a very lonely, outcast feeling. And with a lot of suffering here, we see that. And I feel like it's time Uranus wants you to see something. I was just wondering if this could be Uranus. It's like it's very friendly and very peaceful. It's like it listens. It listens and just, again, it's like it's just holding the pentacle steady. How can I explain this? It's almost like it's a consciousness that simply, I just hold the pentacle. I hold it. While I hold this safe, while you go through a breakdown here. Right? It's that kind of feeling that I hold something safe. In my little peaceful environment, in my Zen garden, like I hold the Zen garden here while something is breaking down. I will be the one that upholds the Zen garden here. Like it gets across also like a strong, earthy, feminine, like Gaia energy, right? I'm just holding everything together, peacefully, friendly, while something is breaking down here. It could be like masculine structures also break down here. While something is breaking down here, I hold everything together. This is what we also hear about single mothers, right? They would say, I do everything I can to keep a peaceful home for my children. I hold everything together while the man or the masculine energy is breaking down. While they go through this transformation, I wait for them to come here and look strong again. That kind of feeling, yeah. I'm kind of drawn to the red hair of her here. I'm not quite sure why. This talks about like peaceful maintenance. I'm just keeping the like peacefully, friendly, I'm just keeping the harmony of something rolling while something else is going on here. It could be Venus, like Venus just watching, listening to whatever Mars is dealing with here. It's feminine. Could be Uranus here. Like I just show you this, right? While I'm holding something steady. Listen to your trouble or what you have experienced maybe. What has happened, I listen and I just hold the peace. I'm a peacekeeper. This is a peacekeeper, a harmonizer, a peacekeeper. I just hold it here while something is talking, speaking its truth here, speaking about the suffering, speaking about the guilt, or confess. It could be they're confessing something. Maybe they're confessing something here. Why they have left, why they fled the scene, why they escaped, why they felt like they couldn't stay, why they seeked refuge in the mountains alone. Maybe they're confessing something here. And this one is just holding everything here. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's almost like she's listening to and watching the breakdown of something. Like they can't do it anymore. They can't uphold a face or an image. It breaks all down. The masks are off. They explain or confess why they ran or why they felt so unworthy. And this one is just holding. They just sit and hold the energy to allow for transmutation, I feel like. Holding space, you could say. Yeah, that someone sits and holds a space for this transformation to occur, to happen, so that something else will be born, something else will arise here. Interesting energy. This one, she's quite because she's not actively doing something. It's almost like this one has to figure this out by themselves. She's not judging. She's just sitting and holding the energy here. I don't think she's judging this one. She's not judging no matter what he says, no matter what he confesses. I get something about confession here. No matter how like he's confessing something unforgivable maybe. And she still sits and holds the pentacle here. For her own safety, but I also feel like for his somehow. I listen, but I'm not judging. I listen, I'm not judging. Yeah, something like that. And again, as I said, this transit, this aspect with Uranus and North Node and Mars, it's going to affect us all somehow, more to a bigger or lesser degree, maybe also depending on how sensitive you are. But there could be something about a confession or some kind of secrets coming out here that is explaining why someone ran, or why they felt like an outcast, or why they felt not worthy, why they couldn't stay, why they couldn't commit maybe, why they left the scene, why they ran away. It can be an internal process in you, your own Mars energy. But it's all here to help us somehow believe in something new. Resurrect a sense of confidence, I feel like. There's no fire here, right? Here we have the fire again. Resurrect a sense of confidence, willpower. I can do this. I feel it. I feel I can do it. I know I can do it, right? Over here, he doesn't think he can. The moonlight goddess here could be a bit like her, right? It's because she knows that dealing with moon energy is not easy. She knows that it takes a lot. Because she has already done it, right? She has faced her moon and still risen up, right? Still become a goddess, even though, and that's what maybe why she's holding the energy here, because she knows that if I can do this, you can do this too. I trust you. I trust you, right? I trust that you can overcome this and you can rise again here. Okay, interesting energy here. Let me get some other cards here. Perhaps want the fairy here on the Ten of Swords. Let's have a look on the Ten of Swords. It's a very, very miserable energy. I get a strong sense of unworthiness. Like, how can I be loved? How can I? Like maybe feeling forced to do something that is so against his own priorities. So like confessing something that he may have done that is so profoundly against his own beliefs, but he was forced to, perhaps. And then afterwards not being able to forgive himself, that sense of feeling. And it's draining his energy here. It's draining the fire out of him. The fire is transformed from confidence and go-getter energy and protector energy and builder energy into destructive self-criticism and self-sabotage. The Sage. Interesting. this is what I feel like you transform yourself into. The Ten of Swords is opening up the idea of the North Node here. The North Node could be that you have to be the sage here. That if you relieve yourself of whatever guilt and you confess something here, even if it's just an internal confession that you do, is that this is internal. I feel like if you're doing that somehow, you could at the same time realize that the running here was not because there was something wrong with you. It was the other way around. There was something open within you, right? There's something open within you here. Because you experience the world in a different way, you see and experience and feel and sense in a different way here. It is upright, the sage here. So, but I also get the feeling it has been a sage that was probably shamed or rejected because of some of these qualities at some point. Some of the qualities were not appreciated, probably. Maybe the sage has also done stuff. Like the qualities of the sage were maybe used in like a destructive way. So the sage talks about wisdom and hidden knowledge, retreat, old age, and patience. The sage is also the shaman. Not all wise men are shamans, and not all shamans are wise men, but this one is both. Power informed by wisdom, and wisdom made manifest by power. I'm just pausing with that one. Power informed by wisdom, and wisdom made manifest by power. Maybe this sage misused power at some point. Okay. This is also the face of Father Time, and we see the colors of the seasons surrounding him. Sometimes he is old man of the mountain, the hermit who searches within for wisdom and understanding, and then is willing to share it with any true seeker who comes to him. His blind eye enables him to look into other worlds, other realms, and the wisdom buried deeply within each of us, where the singers dwell. He has reached a state of life where he has let go of many of the activities of younger beings, retreated somewhat from the outer world of fairy, and has become more deeply immersed in the inner landscape of knowledge, inner wisdom and vision, contemplation and spirit. On the exterior he lives simply, almost austerely, but his inner world is filled to overflowing with richness. In order to pursue his studies more thoroughly, the sage has cultivated detachment. Some may see this as remoteness or coldness, but he is no less loving for that. The sage finds the inner connections between everything. He sees the connections, relationships, and consequences between seemingly separate ideas, beings, and things. Love and compassion are the inevitable consequences of seeing truly, and this leads the sage to share his learning with others. Like any other wise elder, he leads by gently teaching from his vast store of wisdom. When asked for his judgment about something, he is discriminating and generous-hearted. He turns a blind eye to punishment, feeling that what is needed is mercy and a way of teaching those who err so they will not make the same mistakes again. The sage is constantly learning, while on the one hand he values tradition and stability, he also understands and values the need for growth and change. He cannot go for a walk or a flight around the neighborhood without discovering something new and trying to see how it fits into the whole. He is always expanding his understanding of reality and deepening his awareness. As we develop patience and compassion intertwined, we begin to manifest the wisdom of the sage. I think this is probably what could open up and is shown, right? It is shown here that this guy is potentially now starting his journey and trusting that this is his future or his path somehow. But somehow I also feel like it probably hasn't been. Maybe this energy has always had sage qualities, but it got derailed by power somehow. The feeling of power. Because he knows so much, therefore he can maybe his knowledge was used for power, to gain power in certain situations, and now he sees that. And the feeling of remorse, the feeling of confession here. But also I feel like changing his ways. And that's what I feel like. Okay, underlying energy here I get Ilse the Retriever. So when I see this card, I always think about soul retrieval. That something is being returned, retrieved somehow. Maybe you are if you feel like this resonates with you, maybe you feel like this is what you could be working with in your future. Soul retrieval as a shaman. Maybe that's something that you truly get to feel is the right path for you. Let's get, I want a card on this Queen of Pentacles also here. about this. There's something about the red hair here somehow. Why can't I figure out what that is? I think that again, this guy, he when he's balanced, I want to say he is he lives, as the book said, more excluded. He could be not very social. He could be like living by himself alone and doesn't have much, like he doesn't have much stuff. Let me get the book. I actually wanted to read how he would be if he was reversed somehow, if he was not living up to his best potential. Because that's what I feel like it could probably be why he is here now. So when this guy is reversed, when the wisdom of the sage is blocked, artificial and inappropriate boundaries are set between different aspects of life. We become unable to apply learning in one sphere to other aspects of life, or information is withheld, kept secret, when it could benefit others, which in turn would benefit us. Sometimes learning is blocked by the belief that we already have all the answers, but we never actually do. Twisted, the sage's accumulation of facts and information becomes unwisdom, knowledge misused and distorted, facts distorted for selfish purposes, information used to the detriment of others. There is always a risk of this when we set out to prove something rather to discover something. Other twists include being excessively critical, being cold and uncaring, or being cynical and embittered. These are all faults of balance, and at its worst, knowledge and experience are channeled towards the destruction of the self or others. So yeah, that's what I feel like, the feeling of like self-hatred or self-destruction here. But this is coming to an end. That's what I feel. That's why I wanted to read it. It's like that's what he has been dealing with, this guy here. Not knowing what was going on. Running away, escaping, but it's something about realizing who he actually is here. And using the energy in another way. Okay, let's have a look at the Queen of Pentacles here. Can I have a card on her, please? Okay, now I have a jump on the floor here, 3 of Wands. 3 of Wands talks about waiting for your ships to come in, waiting for something to maybe be returned or retrieved here. But and it's fire energy, right? But it is reversed, so I feel like maybe you've had some trouble with this. like retrieving something or waiting for something. Maybe you felt like it would never come, that it never came back, something never came back. Okay, the Queen of I still want the Queen of Pentacles. Now I have another flyer here. It's the Queen of Wands reversed. Again, this that the fire is the fire was not there, right? And again, the Queen of Wands also talks about desire, passion, lust maybe, or something we are instantly drawn towards, maybe for satisfaction, right? And this is what I talk about. It's this feeling that that when we stand on the edge, we can be drawn by something. And it will give us some sense of satisfaction, at least for a while. But it's not going to give you the full inner extent of a blissed feeling of connection. But this guy can. He figured it out, right? But as long as his energy is misused or misguided or blocked, he can't do it properly. He will... As I just read in the book, he can be cynical, critical, self-destructive, and even project that onto others. He has a lot of wisdom, but misusing it, not using it right. Using it for his own gain, using it for power, or using it to escape something, perhaps. Queen of Pentacles. Now I get the Page of Wands. I was asking for a clarification for Queen of Pentacles here. Yeah, it's like she's holding the energy and just watching while the fire is growing or maturing here, while the fire comes back. This guy, he's the youngest fire energy, you could say, the Page here. This is the child, you could say. And he is looking at the wand here, turning and twisting it and figuring out, what is this? How can I somehow, what is this for? How can I use this? What is this like? What can I use this wand? I can fight with it, right? I can... maybe I can grow something. I can light it and have a fire with it. I can... So how can I use this wand, right? He's figuring this out, and I just feel like the energy is still just holding, slowly but surely holding the energy while this is figured out. While something is figured out here. It's almost also like it says, go back. How was it like when you were young? What did you like to do when you were young, when you were a child? How was that for you? Just safely holding the space here, allowing this one to experiment, allowing this one to figure out what this is. Again, he's very occupied with this. He's not looking at her. She just sits here and just holds the energy. Very patient, very calm, very just listening. And just like patiently, I feel like, yeah, holding time, holding... allowing something to grow, while this one is occupied with this. He's not looking at her, right? It almost feels like an external element, a feminine energy that's simply just watching a process here. Some kind of process evolving or happening. But somehow I also get the feeling it's almost like this is the wife of the sage. Like maybe she has just been waiting for someone to figure out that they are the sage here. How to use their energy differently. So this is someone just waiting, watching, waiting and watching, realizing, okay, I sit here. I see her a little bit like a witch, or like a forest elf-like witch-like person. Very earthy, very grounded with the earth, and the sages too. Like he lives off the land. He doesn't own much, right? It's not about luxury here. That's not really it. Well, it could be, but this card, when I look at her, it's not really like that. Look at his hair. It's a big messy hair, you could say. And hers as well. They're kind of earthlings, earth beings, in tune with just like nature. She's a natural red, maybe. Like a natural red. She could just have curly, natural red hair. And he has this big, almost like lion fur hair somehow. So these people, they don't really prioritize necessarily I get a very natural vibe from this one. They don't prioritize necessarily like the newest haircut or a lot of makeup, and it's not really like that. They live in tune with, maybe they have a very natural organic vibe to them. They could be into recycling, and like organic food and like they don't buy fashion clothes necessarily. Like very very natural, earthy. Naturalist, is that even a word? Someone who really they live very much in tune with nature somehow, and what nature offers them. That's both of them here. And someone could be watching something going on at the moment, simply just sitting there, holding space for some kind of transformation for the masculine, just sitting and holding here. I just hold it. The energy, I'm not judging it. I simply sit here, I listen. I allow for whatever this is that needs to come through, that needs to come to the surface. A realization, a confession, something. I just allow it. I allow it simply to just move, the energy to move. Quite interesting here. Okay, at the bottom of the deck here, I get the Ace of Pentacles. This was for the Page of Wands. Again, I feel like just holding. They hold the energy. And this now, it shows up as like the divine holding the energy here. Holding us safe, holding. Maybe this talks about that the masculine transformation is safe, it's protected, it's needed, it has to occur. But we are all safe in this process. It's okay. Whatever happens, whatever is said and done, it's okay. That there's a protective energy here, a feminine energy here that is at the same time overlooking this. I don't know if this is like a mother, like a Mother Mary, a Kuan Yin, like a big feminine energy here to help us. Is this Uranus? Could it be Uranus? Like Uranus sitting here makes us see something, but at the same time helping us hold and feel safe in the process. While we are touching the fire here, while we all get acquainted maybe with a fire energy here again, where we all somehow reunite with that I can do this, some sense of confidence, I can do this, or whatever direction I want to go in, I can go in that direction, right? It's almost like a reconnection with confidence or something like that. And of course, this reading is not for those who feel like they have a lot of confidence and always go for what they want. This is for the others. This is for those who feel like they have lacked it, or they have lacked purpose, they have lacked the compass, they have lacked the feeling of direction in life. It's like it's the new beginning. The Ace of Pentacles talks about a new beginning of something tangible here, a new beginning of something that is safe and secure and valued and maybe liked and appreciated, something solid, strong, stable, harmonious, orderly, but not in a controlling way. She's not like that. She's not a control freak, this one. Somehow it's almost like she's waiting, like she's been waiting for this. She's been waiting for something here. Very interesting, whatever this is, who she is here. Could be Earth, like Earth has been waiting for this transformation. And she's just calmly holding space for all of us to go through the new beginning here. Very interesting. And she can be this reminder, right? Go back and remember who you are, right? You are safe somehow. You are safe to do this. You are safe to work, figure out your moon, and you are safe to rise also. You are safe to rise. Can we have a card on the Six of Wands here, please? Can we just have a card on this one? Okay, a flyer here. The resting tree. Patience and stillness. I don't know if you can see, but she's laying here, resting, stillness. But it came out in reverse, and I feel like it's because the resting time is probably over. Like the patient, she has been very patient. If this is Venus, or if like the feminine energy waiting for the masculine to wake up or the masculine to catch up. They have been waiting for them to collapse and confess something, or they have been waiting patiently for them to see something here. I just get the feeling it talks about this is done, right? The waiting hours is over. You don't need to wait anymore. The spirit whisperer, divine guidance and higher knowing. Yeah, you see, that's a sage, right? The spirit whisperer, divine guidance and higher knowing. Definitely. Definitely. Like this is where you become, you are now in tune with the or at least you are going towards it, right? At least you now figure out this is me, and even if I have to become a sage and I need to leave like family and social stuff behind, I'm doing it anyway because this is my calling now, right? This is my calling now. I'm setting out on a journey of guidance and enlightenment and inner connection. And I do so by becoming a sage or a hermit. I do so by choosing the divine. I do so by choosing to connect with something else here. And I do so because I hear the call, right? I hear the call here. And I have the willpower now to go towards it. I'm no longer procrastinating or feeling, doubting myself maybe. At the bottom of the deck I get the wise winged ones. That's the same thing. Angelic help and miraculous aid. But it still talks about the wise winged ones. So this is the guidance, the divine guidance. Both cards talk about that, and that's why you are fired up here now. Whoever this is, fired up towards going towards this now. Because it feels right to you. It feels real to you. And because there is an element of connectingness. So instead of feeling this constant separation from something, there is a possibility of feeling connected. And that's the driving force now, right? It's the driving force that I can feel connected here instead of feeling separated. And why not go for the big connection here, the big blissful connection here? Why not go for that? Not just breadcrumbs, not just quick fixes, or not just quick highs or something like that, quick satisfaction. This is something that can stay with me. But I need to choose it, right? I need to go for it. I need to use my energy to go for that. And maybe it means that I need to leave something behind. The idea that I need to leave a family behind. And maybe my family had some expectations that I should get married and have kids and so on. And I'm just not doing that. I'm just not doing that. It's not right for me. I follow my own glow here. I follow my own wand, right? I follow my own wand here. My own true wand. and something that actually gives me confidence, right? Something that fills me up, not something that is draining me, something that fills me up. Maybe the adventure, that I'm on an adventure here. The Sage is always on an adventure. The Sage, I believe, Sage is Sagittarius energy. Not only, but Sagittarius energy. Did I say that earlier? Something like, what was it? Yeah, I said something about, said in my Sagittarius reading, the title is something about get to know your moon sign. So maybe this is relating a lot to fire energy as such, but also to Sagittarius energy. Not only. We can have other sages here, I believe. I want to say this goes with all the eldest zodiac signs in whatever placement they have for you. So we may say Sagittarius, we may say Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces here, right? Those are the ones who have, we say that they have the most life experience. They have been around most life cycles. But again, look at your placement, right? Because you may have Aquarius moon, for instance, right? And that's why you need to have to get your moon sign right here. What's your moon sign? Because the moon sign is the trouble, and when you erase the trouble or you neutralize it, then something appears here. Something comes forward, or it changes from being the reversed version of you into a different one here. So just take it how it resonates for you, but it takes you out of a feeling of an outcast, right? That you have no... people don't understand you, they don't see your value. This is someone retrieving into the hills, into the nature, being alone. This is where you feel the best, right? You feel the best here. But maybe we have been very occupied with sorrows and remorse and maybe blaming other people and feeling like an outcast and rejected. So you have been in a like a lack mentality. And this is changing, I feel like. Yeah, this is what I have for this reading. It was just what I just felt like I wanted to do one that has to do with this Uranus, Mars and North Node conjunction happening on around the 1st of August, but you should feel it already. And maybe it has already shown itself, its face to you, whatever this is. Try to be patient with yourself and not blame yourself too harshly. Whatever this is, whatever this confession may be for you, or feeling of knowledge that may come up, this can be quite harsh, so it's important to maybe just allow it to show its face. But also realizing this is not all there is to this guy, right? He has so much more potential, this guy, but he just doesn't know it, right? Yeah, that's what I feel like. This is what I have for you. I hope this helped you somehow. I wish you the very best during these transits, and take very good care of yourself. Yeah, I send you love and light. Bye-bye.